Hello, this is David again. I wanted to do a video today on how the Mormon Church robs the poor and how they justify taking the money. When you and I pay fast offering, tithing, building fund, back in the old days we had building fund, and when we donate that money to the Mormon Church, we expect that money to go right to poor people and to humanitarian aid. Well, we didn't know, and the church didn't tell us. We're not going to send that money for a long, long time, and maybe never. We're going to put it in a bank account. And we put it in a bank account and hold it. And maybe rather than just the bank account, we'll go to an investment firm, Fidelity, whatever, and we're going to invest your money in the stock market. And yes, you gave us, analogy, $100 for the poor. And you thought we were going to go ahead and send that to a third world country or to Americans or to foreigners who needed help. So there's $100. But the Mormon Church never sent it. They never sent it. They have $250 billion in property they bought with your tithing money and cash. And of course, they lied to the government, as usual. That's their forte. The Mormon Church, if you want to learn how to rip off the IRS, the FTC, the ADA, who knows, FHA, if you want to learn to rip the government off, you go to the Mormon Church and they will tell you how to do that. Well, here's the principle. You and I gave them $100. We thought they were going to, within reasonable time, whatever, a month, 3 months, 6 months, use that to help the poor. We didn't know. They were putting it in a bank account. Well, there's nothing really inherently evil about that. That they said, well, we have this sacred money, and we're going to put it in a bank account for the poor people. Well, the bank account has interest on it. And our $100 now is worth $150. It sat in the bank account, got interest. That's really good. Now the poor people get $150. No, they don't. No, they don't. The poor people never even get the $100. And then the authorities of the satanic, great, and abominable church go, oh, this is investment money. This is extra money. It's our money. It's not the poor people's money. It's now for, the income for the apostles and prophets. It's for the free housing. It's for the transportation. 6-figure incomes, pushing $200,000 each. They took you and me our $100. They never gave it to the poor. And then it gained interest. And now the church says, well, we're only obligated to pay $100. That's all they gave us for the poor. The other $50 that we made off of the tithing money is ours. We can buy Learjets. We can have Hinckley's $1 million birthday party, Nelson's $1 million birthday party. That's smart. It is smart. They ripped the common man off. They're laughing their ass off to the bank because you and I gave them money to the poor, and they said, well, we didn't even give it to the poor. Now and then we'll throw them a couple of shreds of pennies here and there, but the extra money that we made on your money is ours. It's like income. They're earning their income off of my tithing money and your tithing money and off of the backs of the hungry children in the Philippines and Nicaragua, Venezuela, Brazil, Mexico. I'm laughing because if I wasn't laughing, I think I'd be crying. How can men who believe or put out front, hold themselves out as the law says, holds themselves out as followers of Christ, say, we're not going to pay the $100 to the poor like you gave. We're going to put it in a bank and invest it. And then, yes, maybe we'll give a few dollars in many, many years down the road out of that $100. Maybe we'll give somebody 12 cents. But all the extra money that made in the stock market, and all that money it made interest sitting in a bank account, and all that money it made buying land, and then we resell the land, and that's extra money. It's cascading money. It's compound interest. And because we're smart, and Jesus says, rip the poor off, screw the kids. Jesus comes to us in the temple there in Salt Lake City every Thursday in the big meeting and says, fuck the world. Take the money, guys. You're smart. You can hide it. Tell them it's secret, not sacred. Hide behind the First Amendment. Pretend that you're a church. And laugh yourself all the way to the damn bank. Somehow, the church has convinced, not me, but many people, that the income from interest can be used for non-sacred things. Unbelievable. That they think you and I are that stupid. Well, maybe you are. I don't know. I'm not that stupid. I resigned and got the hell out of there. And I don't think the interest from my donations belongs to the first presidency for six-figure incomes. You do? Great. I don't care. That doesn't affect me. I don't think it's right. I think if our $100 made an extra $50 in interest, that's now $150 to the poor. Not $100 to the poor and $50 to the rich. That's not Christ-like. They're saying that money is the root of all evil. Well, it says the correct phrase is the love of money is the root of all evil. That's a correct statement. That's an eternal principle, according to my eyes and my experience, with the Mormon Church. They think that investment income is their money because they're clever, they can hide it, they can keep it away from the IRS, the FTC, and their legal filings with fraudulent LLCs that are hidden all over, hiding certain segments of the money so that people don't know how much money the church really has. Well, it has a $250 billion. It doesn't need to pay any more tithing from the people ever, or collect tithing from the people. But they're going to continue. I know these people. They have enough money that they don't never have to pay their members to have to be tithe ever again. But it's a good deal. It's a good deal. You and I give them donations. Basically, they have no accounting. We don't know if they ever spent it on the poor. We don't know how it was spent, what countries or what programs. And then they put it in a bank and into Fidelity and the stock market. They make tons and tons of money. And then that extra money is a slush fund. I'm going to say a slut fund. The legal term is slush, but it's a slut fund for sluts. And sluts are not female. These are male, basically pimps. They're male pimps who feed off the weak. They feed off and take advantage of the poor, the ignorant, the disadvantaged. And somehow they believe that all of this income that they saved from the poor people's money in the bank is now their money. They don't need, there is no paid ministry in the Mormon Church. They're right. There's no paid ministry. The ministry owns the Mormon Church. They don't get paid. They get more money than you and I will ever see in our lifetime. And you know where they got that? Tithing. And so when Hinckley says, oh, we don't use tithing funds to build the mall. We don't use tithing funds to bail out beneficial life insurance company that Monson ran into the ground. We use investment income. There's no such thing. Investment income came off of the income that you and I gave them money for the poor. See? They're tricky and they're good. They're good. Oh, geez. Talk about a slippery snake. This is like, a snake in a 55-gallon barrel of Vaseline. They somehow have you and I believing that as long as they don't use tithing for commercial projects, they can use the income off of tithing, that it's a separate fund. It's not. It's all tithing money. It's all tithing money. They're lying. They're cheating. They're stealing. They're scamming. It's a hoax. It's a cult. It's a haunted house. It's a deadly, deadly, dangerous cult. They've got the world fooled. They've got many other membership fooled. They have sometimes the government fooled. And boy, when you've got $250 billion, you own the government. You own the First Amendment to the Constitution, and you can make your own judges interpret that a certain way. The First Amendment basically has been interpreted by the Mormon Church is that we cannot do anything we want and fuck the world. We can do anything we want, fuck the world. Doesn't matter what the law says, doesn't matter what's right, doesn't matter what's wrong, doesn't matter what's moral. We've got the money, we own the judges, we own the judicial system. Get the hell out of our way, and if you don't, you could be standing where the Mountain Meadows massacre people were standing. You give up your freedom, you give up your guns, you give up trusting the Mormon Church, they will probably shoot you in the face, kill your wives, kill your children, and leave you on the ground bleeding in agony and pain after they said, oh, trust us, trust us. We wouldn't do that. Well, let me be very clear. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a genius in CPA. I'm just an ordinary human being. But when I give a religious organization $100 to feed hungry children, and they secretly go, well, we're not going to feed hungry children. We're going to put it in the bank, and then the interest that we get off of that money, we keep. We earned. Evil. Satanic. Hideous. Evil. I'm going to say it more and more in my videos. If you are in the Mormon Church, you need to resign. If you want your name associated with this kind of conduct and behavior, you should be ashamed of yourself. I usually don't make that kind of a comment because I'm a counselor. I don't make a judgment. But these days I'm old, and these days I'm a little more direct. If you are in that church and you want to endorse Joseph Smith banging a 14-year-old and 30 other women, and Brigham Young 57 women, and Blood Atonement, and angels with a flaming sword chasing you around your bedroom, demanding that you marry and screw 14-year-olds. If you want that history and your name attached to it, go for it. Go for it. I don't. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I am so ashamed that I was stupid. I'm so ashamed that I had such a good education and I couldn't see it. I'm so ashamed I didn't have the balls to sit down and go, God damn, what happened to that money? They're spending the money from income off of the tithing funds. That income, extra money, should go to the poor people, not to the authorities of the church. Common sense. If you're in there, I say get out. I did. Don't be just inactive. Don't be just inactive, because you are still endorsing them with your behavior, lack of behavior, and they're using your name and number to say, look, this is how many people haven't resigned yet. So if you're thinking and you've got the missionaries knocking on the door, you need to take a look at some videos. You're going to make your own mind up, but you're probably desperate. You're probably divorced. You're probably bankrupt. You're probably mentally ill. You're probably unemployed. And the Mormon missionaries and the thoughts of exaltation and families are forever, and these sales preparation phrases attract. The net attracts a lot of strange fish. So, if you think the Mormon Church has a right to the interest monies off of the tithing investments, I think you don't know much about charity. I don't think you know much about compassion and understanding. I don't put up with it. I'm sorry. I'm old. They've abused me for a half a century and my family. They've tricked me. I thought my monies were going for poor people. I didn't know it was buying stocks on the New York Stock Exchange, and that the interest made off of those stocks, the authorities would keep for themselves. I didn't know that. And now that I know it, I'm going to say it's shit. It's evil. They should be in jail. They should be in jail for that kind of fraud on the American people. It's outrageous. Let me end with this comment. I just found out yesterday. I just found out yesterday that one of my grandchildren died, little girl, in the Philippines. LDS family, no money, no food, no fresh water, no sanitation, no toilet, no transportation, no medical, no dental, no safety. Mother didn't have much of an education, didn't know. Laid her baby on her back, and the baby threw up, aspirated, and suffocated. I'm going to blame the Mormon Church. You bet your ass. I'm going to blame the Mormon Church. That was an LDS family living in abject poverty. They had no ability to get an ambulance, a hospital, a doctor, no ability to monitor that child. And that child didn't even have a crib. Didn't have a crib. In the Philippines, they can't afford a crib. They take a blanket and hang it at both ends for a hammock. And the baby's in a hammock. Can't turn over. Lay a baby like that, a newborn baby in a hammock. It throws up, aspirates what it throws up. It can't turn its head. It's in a hammock. If it's in a crib with a reasonably hard mattress, most infants have the ability to, turn their head and clear their mouth a little bit, enough to at least keep breathing. This is a deadly organization. They let you starve. They let you have disease. They walk away blind. They don't want to see poor people. They don't want to see handicapped people. They don't want to see infants. They don't want to see anyone that doesn't pay tithing. They're a very vicious, vindictive, hateful group of people. Now, the members of the church, they're not all in that category. They've been sucked in, and they're taken in with the Mormon church, what they say. Most LDS people want to just be good human beings. They want to help. They want to be neighborly. They want to be kind. They want to be generous. They hear those words from the Mormon authorities. It takes years, sometimes never, you discover it's not true. They're not generous. They're not helping the poor. It's the leadership, my friends. It's not the day-by-day Mormons that you're neighbors to and you're mowing the lawn. Those people are pretty good people, generally speaking. There's no better or worse in statistics with Mormons and Catholics and Jews and others. It's the leadership. The leadership are selfish. See, my computer is saying, David, you're dying. Yeah, I am dying. It's the leadership. It's the organization. They're lazy. They don't want to work. They would rather be the head of a hideous organization, stealing money from the poor, letting children and old people die, and basically saying, Well, you give us your money, we're going to put it in the bank, and maybe we'll give some of it to the poor sometime, but we're going to let it earn some extra money for us. And then that extra money we can spend on ourselves. And they do. And they do.